Hey, welcome back. I am your host. I'm Attorney Steven Leahy, and this is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560. The Answer. Here with Deborah and Jim.
We hope you listen to those sponsors.
Listen to the sponsors. We have go to our YouTube channel. Check out our videos. We do the show. We record the show so you can watch the show. And I'm looking at it right now. I'm very tan. It was very hot down there in Branson. 95 degrees every day. It was hot. And
I swear to God, if you talk about one more thing from Branson.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. But we're going to talk about something else because this is the blog segment.
It's the blog segment. The blog. The blog.
Jimmy's a funny boy. He makes me laugh. Which is why he's my co-host, because he makes me laugh. His daddy used to
have a lot of fun. And again, going on with the YouTube channel. Remember, ladies and
gentlemen. You
want
to go on about Branson? Just kidding.
Bronson?
Charles Bronson? What?
Go ahead, Jim.
No, what I was saying is that if you guys are out there and you missed a segment or you're not getting the answers that you want to that question that's burning deep inside, remember, go to YouTube, go to ChicagoTaxTeam.com. There's former videos on there where you can get that kind of dialogue between me and Attorney Steven Leahy, where you can get those answers, most likely. But if you can't, remember, open tax resolution. We'll answer them for you. 312-664-6649. And you can also watch the show live on Fridays. That's right. If you like Attorney Steven Leahy's page, subscribe. You can watch it live and ask during the live feed, and you can get that question answered.
Now, this is kind of going to go to what I'm going to talk about today, because as the blog segment is about what's going on in my office, that's what we're going to talk about. And it's really about, it kind of goes to the YouTube channel and all these things. Why? Because it gets me out there, right? I share all this stuff and people hear about me. And I always encourage you, and as I'm going to encourage you right now, you have a question, call me. I'm going to answer your questions. Even if it's not even in my line. Okay, because I've told you to call, and so Bonnie, who is my scheduler, who answers my phone call, she's instructed. If somebody calls and says they listened to the show, they got me from the show, or they got me from someone else who listens to the show, she's supposed to put them through, either give them a telephone consultation, or bring them in if they got to bring them in. And because I encourage you to do that, it'd be kind of disingenuous of me if I didn't go follow through on that. So I do follow through on that. And what that means, and I tell people this every time when they come down and talk to me, and it's happened a couple of times this week. So this week I had a client from a local judge who recommended me to somebody, and another attorney from Lake County had a client coming out of Chapter 13 who still has an IRS problem, and he's sending them to me, and I'm going to sit down and talk to them. I had another attorney friend of mine who sent somebody to me who's having some problems with their business, and they came down to me. And these two of these people, I didn't take the case. Because it's not right yet for them to hire a lawyer, okay? And what I always tell people, and this is what's wrong with a lot of these outfits, okay, is that you're going to call them and they're going to try to sell you something, and whether you need it or not, okay, because that's their job.
We spoke about it too. I mean, you've had, for example, some people that are selling their home in the northern suburbs, and the person that they were working with before, the realtor, is saying, no, we're below market value. Well, they've been on for 2 years. Obviously, you're not below market. There's a problem here.
Well, that's one of these people that just came to see me, right? Because they're having problems in their business, and they were talking about bankruptcy, whether bankruptcy is right for them. And I went through it with them, and I had to tell them, it's not right for you. Okay, you have too many assets. Bankruptcy won't work for you, and at least not the way you want it to work for you. Okay, so there's other things you can do besides bankruptcy. But it's the same thing with tax stuff. Sometimes people come to see me, and it's just they just waited too long, or there's really nothing I can do to help them. And if that's the case, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, because it doesn't do me any good to have a client that I'm not going to take money from you and then not help you, because that's not going to help me, and it ain't going to help you.
You know what, Attorney Steven Leahy, I do the same thing when I operate my business as well. I had a gentleman come in with a very, very actually beautiful home. rather expensive. And he goes, well, I don't know if I should rent it or if I should sell it. And I had to go up to him and said, as great would it be? I mean, would it be great for me to come out and say, hey, yeah, I'd definitely like to list. Let's list it. I told him, I think the smart decision for you, again, because he rented to own. I think the smart decision, go rent to own.
Well,
and then,
when people are looking to you for advice, and that's what they do, right? Then it's my job to give you good advice, not based on what's good for me, but what's good for you. Okay. But again, in the end, selling you something that you don't need is not good for me either, because if you go online and you look me up, you'll see a lot of good reviews that I have. And I'm very proud of those reviews. And there's not a lot of negative stuff going on out there for me. Why? Because I don't take these cases and I don't take money from people if I can't help them. And sometimes people just need good advice. And again, that's what I try to provide. So for instance, if you're an attorney out there and you're listening to the show and you have someone to say, hey, you don't know enough about my area of the law, as I don't know enough about your area of the law. So someone might ask me something about a personal injury case or something, and I know people who are really good at that area of the law. And so I won't give you that information because I don't know enough about it. But if you call me and say, I listened to your show, I had this question, and I'll tell you, I don't know enough about that, but let me tell you who does. This gentleman does, and I will send you to this gentleman who does know enough about it to answer your questions. Because I'm not going to try to answer questions that I don't know the answer to. Again, it doesn't do you any good, doesn't do me any good. Okay, I don't know all the answers. Believe it or not, Jim, I don't know all the answers, but I do know. I know enough again that I know people who do know the answers.
Exactly, I have the same thing too. I just recently had somebody come up to me and want to list their home, and I said, yeah, of course, I'll help you out, but I'm not an expert in this market. So I went, well, you know what, at this point, it's not about the commission. It's about making sure that I get the job done properly. So that's why let's bring somebody on so we can get the job done. This is why
people can trust you, okay? Because that's why people can trust me, because I'm going to steer you correct. Okay, I'm not going to try to sell you something you don't need. Again, a lot of this tax resolution stuff, you hear it on the radio all the time. Pay pennies on the dollar. Let me show you how. And people call me all the time. Once they file a lien against you, right, that's public information. And you're going to get phone calls from people. And they're going to, I just had a guy come in and tell me, I got phone calls. They're telling me, we could save you 80%. We can knock it down 80%. Well, it turns out this guy's got a pension and IRAs with lots of money in it. There's no way he's going to get 80% of. He's going to get what they call the offer and compromise, because that's not how it works. How can somebody who doesn't know anything about you tell you how they're going to solve your problem?
Exactly.
Well, the answer is they can't.
I mean, it'd be nice to get there.
But that's an easy sell, right?
Exactly.
If you call me and you say, I owe the IRS $100,000, you think I could pay pennies on a dollar, 10%? I said, yeah, sure. Where do I sign up?
I just had I know a guy, he's going in through a deal and they agree on the price. He goes, okay, well, I'm just letting you know that I'm going to forego my commission. So will you drop the price after they just agreed on it? It's like, what are you trying to sell here? How are you trying to do the sales technique? Watch out, because that's going to happen in every industry. Basically.
It does happen.
You have to go with somebody you trust. Right. And that's why Attorney Steven Leahy with Open Tax Resolutions, he is tried, tested, and true. That's why you go to Avon. Am I correct?
Yes. Well, this is one of the Avo. This is one of the. I apologize. This is one of the good things about this show. Okay, about the videos, that people see these videos, because I've gotten so many calls. People said, I've watched the show. I've watched these videos, and I think I can trust you just by watching the videos, because they see the interaction, they hear what I'm saying, and they have a feeling like they're familiar with me and they know me, and so they trust me. So I want people to trust me. Right? Because that's a big part of any ingredient in my job, is that you trust me. And part of that is that I'm going to always be honest with you. Sometimes people don't want to hear the truth, but I'll always tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. And that's just the way it works in my office. And I think it should be in everything, whether it's real estate or mortgage broker, any professional that you're looking to. Look for honest people who are going to give you honest answers, not just try to sell you something, because maybe you don't need it, and don't buy things you don't need.
That's right.
That's my own opinion.
That's why Open Tax Resolution is a hit right out the park. Remember, Open Tax Resolution, 312-664-6649, or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. That's going to be your hub to fight the IRS, not his hub, not her hub, not my hub, your hub.
It could be your hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, 312-664-6649. or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. I just get so used to saying that. Go to YouTube. Watch the videos. There's answers out there for your questions. So remember, 312-664-6649. Now, ladies and gentlemen, listen to our sponsors and come right back here on AM 560.
The answer.